What's going on, Alabama fans? Chris Daughtery here. This is the Alabama Football Report, and the cold summer continues for the Crimson Tide as they have landed four-star offensive tackle Jackson Lloyd over other teams like Ohio State and USC. Pretty much, it was Alabama and Ohio State in his recruitment. He goes ahead and picks the Alabama Crimson Tide today, and I am just super excited about this commitment. Another offensive lineman making it the third in this 2025 recruiting class. And I told you guys before, when you like the video, likes equals commitments. We did it the other day. Alabama gets 2 commitments. We do it yesterday. Alabama gets another commitment. I don't know what to tell you guys at this point. It's just strictly science, and you can't argue it at this point. So go ahead. If you want Alabama to keep landing recruits in this 2025 recruiting class, go ahead and make sure you like today's video for me right now. Jackson Lloyd, he is a 4-star recruit in this 2025 recruiting class, offensive tackle. And 247 Sports and On3 see his recruitment very differently. 247 Sports has him as the number 146th player overall, the number 16th offensive tackle, and the number 13 player from the state of California. On3, though, has him a whole lot higher, number 29 overall, which is definitely in that 5-star range, usually top 32-ish, I believe is what On3 usually does for 5 stars once they come out with their final recruiting rankings in December. They've got him as the number 6 offensive tackle and the number 1 player from the state of California. Now, like we said, it's pretty much Bama and Ohio State. He was at Ohio State on June 7th, Bama this past weekend. And after that official visit with Alabama, it's the On3 and 247 Sports both put in official predictions for him to land with the Crimson Tide. Lloyd is a very athletic kid, especially for a right tackle, 6'6", 280, plays football, basketball, baseball. You can go on his Twitter and see him dunking. You know, just a super athletic kid. And I wonder this too. I haven't necessarily heard this, but 6'6", 280 pounds. I wonder if that's a player. I know he plays offensive tackle in high school, but by the time he, gets into his second, maybe third year at Alabama, could we possibly see him starting at that center position? Kalen DeBoer likes the offensive lineman to be a little bit smaller, not super small, but a little bit smaller, especially than what we saw from Alabama last year along the offensive line. So that's just another thing that popped in my head. Possibly he could fit to, interior offensive line as well. And Lloyd was somebody that Alabama really, really liked, from the start. He was the first offer in the Kalen DeBoer era at Alabama. So this is a big one for the Crimson Tide. And I want you guys to get in the comment section for me right now. What is your one-word reaction to the Crimson Tide landing Jackson Lloyd in this 2025 recruiting class? It is the pinned comment on today's show. So you know what that means. You're not going to watch the ad anyways. It's probably going to come here. So just ignore it. Go down to the pinned comment and type in your one-word reaction for Alabama landing 4-star offensive tackle Jackson Lloyd. These are your offensive lineman commits so far in the 2025 class. Jackson Lloyd, we just talked about him. Michael Carroll and Mal Waldrop, 2 other guys that Alabama really liked a lot, especially Michael Carroll, number 186 overall, number 9 interior offensive lineman. These rankings are per the 247 Sports composite rankings. Mal Waldrop, I've said it a ton. He is a lower ranked recruit, but, Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, these guys do a very good job of finding recruits that aren't necessarily on everybody's radar. I think he can come in, get coached up by Coach Cap. And, especially with Mal Waldrop, he's another guy that could go to the interior of the offensive line as well. I think most of these guys, especially the ones we're going to talk about here in just a second, there's a lot of versatility when it comes to these guys. They can play an offensive tackle. They can play in the interior of the offensive line. So, I like what Alabama has done so far. They've gotten 3 commitments, and according to Bama Online, they're probably going after anywhere from 4 to 6 offensive linemen in this class. They're not going to turn a top-rated offensive lineman away just because they've already got 4 or 5 guys. They'll take a 6th guy if they really, really like that guy. So we'll start here. The rest of the offensive line targets for Alabama in this 2025 class. First up, Ty Haywood, 5-star offensive tackle, number 11 overall, the number 2 offensive tackle in this class, and the number 4 player from the state of Texas. What's most notable about Ty Haywood right now, it seemed like Oklahoma was in the lead for his recruitment. He was supposed to visit Oklahoma this week, but out of nowhere kind of ends up canceling the visit and doesn't seem like it's going to be rescheduled, I guess. So he does have a visit scheduled with Florida State this weekend, but we'll see what happens there. You know, Alabama's definitely in the mix for Ty Haywood. He visited the Crimson Tide back on May 31st, and I mean, when you look at his film, you just hate to be one of the kids being blocked by him. Definitely the number 2, top offensive tackle in this class. I really like what I see from Ty Haywood. David Sanders, I went ahead and put his Tennessee picture here because he went to Tennessee this past weekend, and even though they spelled his name wrong and called him Davis Sanders, it seems like Tennessee might be in the lead now for his recruitment. He's 5-star offensive tackle, number 2 overall player in this recruiting class, the number 1 offensive tackle, and the number 1 player from the state of North Carolina. These are also, again, the 247 Sports composite rankings, and it seems like Bama in this one, they're just on the outside looking in. You know, they were in his top 5 or 6, I believe, but as the official visits have gone for him, Alabama is just kind of gone by the wayside a little bit. He was supposed to visit Alabama today. He was supposed to be in Tuscaloosa today. Didn't end up making that trip. So, it seems like Tennessee is the leader right now. I would never count Alabama 100% out, but it doesn't seem like Alabama's going to land David Sanders in this class. So who do you guys think is going to be the next offensive lineman to commit to the Crimson Tide? Got 3 so far already and a couple big names to go, a couple big-time visitors from both last weekend and coming up as well. So let me know what offensive lineman do you think is going to commit to the Crimson Tide next? Douglas U2 is the next one on our list here, 4-star offensive lineman, number 67 overall. 247 has him as an interior offensive lineman, the number 2 interior offensive lineman, and the number 2 player from the state of Nevada. But when you go look at his film, he's playing tackle. So I don't know if they're thinking, he's probably going to play interior offensive line in college or what, but they've got him listed as an interior offensive lineman. He's taken visits to Washington, Michigan, Nebraska, Alabama back on June 7th. So, some notable teams, notable programs for this kid, one of the top offensive linemen in this class. And from all reports, no one really knows who's in the lead or what's going on with him. Seems like he's a quiet kid. Him and his family don't talk to the media a whole lot. So we don't really know where he stands in his recruitment. And when you go back to watch his film, his sophomore highlights are only 59 seconds long. He doesn't have any junior highlights either. He's going into his senior year. So, I watched as much as I could on him. His freshman highlights are about, 6-7 minutes long. Very impressive for a freshman playing on varsity. Just like a lot of these other kids, I would absolutely hate to be blocked by him because your ass is going in the dirt. If he touches you, you're not getting around him. And that was back on his freshman highlights. I can't imagine what he looked like in his junior season, and especially going in to his senior season coming up here. I like what I see from Douglas U2. I would love to get him in this 2025 class. Micah DeBose is an in-state recruit from Viger High School. He's he's a 4-star recruit, number 89 overall in this class, the number 8 offensive tackle, and the number 8 player from the state of Alabama. Seems like Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama are top teams for his recruitment, and He's coming into Tuscaloosa this weekend, and according to Tim Watts of Bama Online, if Alabama, rolls out the red carpet and does all the right things like they've been doing so far on the recruiting trail, already seven commitments after official visits, Alabama could definitely land Micah DeBose. He's just, every single one of these kids, honestly, they're going to put you in the dirt. And Micah DeBose run blocking, I really, really love what I see from him in the run blocking game. He gets a good jump off the ball. He climbs up to the second level. He's able to block those linebackers as well, especially when they're running up the middle. He didn't have a lot of pass pro on his film. I don't know whether that Viger just doesn't throw the ball a lot. They just run the ball a lot. But the few pass blocking reps he had, he was a little slow, I thought, in that first step. But, at the end of the day, Alabama can work with that. They can speed that first step up, especially get him into the program, get him more explosive, especially like in the weight room and everything like that. But Micah DeBose, being an in-state recruit from Mobile, he's a really big target for Alabama, and he's just a guy that you would love to have in this class, especially being an in-state recruit. You would hate to lose him to, Ohio State or LSU or any of those out-of-state teams as well. We'll give a shout-out to our friends at Fanatics. Go get your Alabama football jerseys. Get ready for the season. Get ready for game day. You can do your customizable jerseys, whether that's crimson or white. Did you forget to get your dad a Father's Day gift? Maybe. I don't know. You could put number 1 dad on there. Just tell him you ordered it before Father's Day and it was, slow coming in or something like that. Go to chatsports.com/Alabama jerseys to get those. You can also get some alumni jerseys as well. You get the Bryce Young jersey. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. They're up to 30% off right now, so you can get a good deal on them. Just go to chatsports.com/Alabama jersey. There will also be a little clickable link right over there in the other corner that you guys can click on. Just go in there, filter it to what you guys want, whether it's that customizable one or the alumni jersey. You can get them right there at Fanatics. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Malachi Goodman is the last offensive line target on this list today. He's a 4-star offensive lineman, number 211 overall, the number 11 interior offensive lineman. He's another one of those guys. He plays tackle. I don't know why they have him at the interior, but he's also the number 6 player from the state of New Jersey. 6'5", 315 pounds. And the teams that, are in the top, list for him. Penn State visited them back on May 31st. He visited Auburn back on May 17th. Went to Georgia on June 7th. Was at Alabama on June 14th. And he's going to be making a visit to USC coming up here this coming weekend on June 21st. Like I said, it says interior offensive lineman, but he does play tackle. And, just a super athletic kid. Very good footwork, especially side to side in pass pro. So a lot of good targets for Alabama on the offensive line. I would expect them to get at least 2 more in this class, possibly 3, but we'll see what happens. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys subscribe right now. We'll be doing so much more for you guys during the football season, watch parties. I'm so excited for that. So make sure you guys are subscribed right here, youtube.com/@RollTideTV.